Hello, everybody. Hello, Emma.
Hello, darling. How are you?
I'm so good, thank you. I've had a wonderful weekend. How are you?
Yeah, I'm awesome, thank you, darling. I had a wonderful weekend as well. I had a birthday weekend, so another
happy
year around
birthday. Happy
Yes, thank
birthday.
you. Thanks,
You
my
look
love.
amazing.
Yes.
Did you have a good birthday?
I did. I had a wonderful day. I was filled with absolute joy and love, surrounded by my family, my beautiful children, and gorgeous messages from all my friends. Beautiful message from yourself. So, yes, thank you. Feeling very loved and very spoiled.
It sounds like a perfect birthday, and you deserve to be spoiled.
Thanks,
So I'm
my
so
love.
happy that you had a great birthday and a great weekend. Welcome, everybody. So I'm Suzana. This is the incredible Emma, and you are watching your Superstar Self-Image podcast. Now, we've received quite a few messages from those of you in the US saying that you might not be able to join us live today because it is Independence Day this week. Happy Independence Day. I hope you're all having some great celebrations with family and friends. Those of you that are joining us, that are watching the live or the recording, please just click on the link above, just above, so that we can see your name when you have put the comments down. This is an interactive podcast. We like to see your comments, and we love to learn more about you. So last Monday, I came back from Bali Monday morning, and almost immediately after my return to Bali, I jumped on this podcast, and I was talking about how my incredible client exceeded 3 C-type goals. And that's what I was in Bali for, because she ran a summit, and I was a keynote speaker at the summit. And I left that session with we left you with some key questions, and was, what if you showed up in the highest version of yourself? What if you were able to let go of your past ideas of who you thought you were, and you chose to tap in to the greatest version of who you were created to be? How would that change your day? How would it change this moment? How would it change your life? So
Love it. Beautiful.
We'll go with that. I hope you all went well. Let us know in the comments.
I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear how everybody went. Talking about that, about showing up as your highest self, I watched your interview last night with Brian Proctor. That was just incredible. Congratulations. What an amazing interview that was. I was in tears. I felt reinvigorated. I felt re-inspired. I loved it. Can you tell me a little bit about how it came about, or how it felt? Or it was incredible. Congratulations, darling.
Thank you so much. So everybody that knows me would know that how much I love and respect Brian Proctor. So Bob, his father, Bob Proctor, was my mentor. He gave me so much individually. But what I didn't expect was to get this level of support and commitment and love from his son Brian. So I got to know Brian a little bit over the years, and I just have utter respect. And what happened was we didn't know that Bob was in hospital just before he died. I wasn't aware of what was happening, and my one of my business partners, McKinney Smith, and I completed a book called Renewing Your Mind. So I sent an email to Bob asking if he would write the foreword, because we couldn't think of anyone else that we would love other than Bob. And Bob had not replied. And I thought, oh, that's really strange, because I've never ever sent an email to Bob and him not reply immediately. As soon as he would wake up, I would receive an email from him whenever I sent an email. So I thought, okay, McKinney, I don't think Bob would like, that must be a no. But little did I know that he was in hospital. I wasn't aware of that. And anyway, so Bob passed a few days after I sent that email to him. And then, obviously that was the reason why he couldn't write the foreword. So we allowed the family just some time and space. And then I reached out to Brian and asked, if he would write the foreword. And of course, Brian, being the beautiful man that he is, and he's known me quite well, he chose to write our foreword. So it was an absolute honour to have Brian Proctor write the foreword of Renewing Your Mind on behalf of his father, Bob Proctor. So I've known Brian for a few years. I absolutely adore him, and all of my clients, my friends, my family knows how much respect and admiration and love that I have for Brian. So for me to do that interview was very, very special, just seeing my dear friend talk about my dear mentor, who was also my friend, and that was his father, Bob Proctor. It was probably one of the most special moments in my whole career. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I've just put it on mute because there's a bit of background noise, but you could tell it was so heartfelt from both of you, and the genuine connection and love that you had for each other came across. And it was almost like watching, it wasn't like watching an interview. In fact, it was just like watching two friends catching up. So it was extremely special. And it was like a bit of a kick up the bum, to be honest, if I can be frank, because it really reminded me of the tools that you have given me that have helped me move into my superstar self-image. So it was a big win for me last night, that interview.
Yeah. It was a great, great refresher. Absolutely. And that's what I wanted it to be. I sent an email to Brian saying, look, are you okay for us just to have a friendly conversation? Because I don't like too much preparation, especially for interviews. You know me, Em. I like to be heart to heart and in the moment, and he was okay with that, and that's how we had a conversation rather than an interview. Two friends just connecting. Absolutely. But you're absolutely right, it did the same thing for me too. Just really it was so special to me on so many different levels. But that focus you mentioned, and I was talking about it in the session this morning, my community coaching session, how the basics are so important. And one of the things that really touched me when I asked Brian, what was your fondest memory of your father as a child? And he said, well, when we'd sit there and look at clouds and try to change clouds. So that was very powerful for me, because what Bob was trying to teach his son to do is to get focused. If you're able to focus on one thing for an extended period of time, you will get the results. And we lack focus. Our mind is everywhere. We let our mind just go all over the place. And no wonder why we don't achieve what we want, because we're always distracted. Your mind is a goal-achieving mechanism. It is the strongest tool for success, and it's inside you, but it's not going to work if your mind's all over the place. But if you hone in on the success that you want and stay with that success and back it up with the self-image that aligns with that success, success will be yours. It has to be. It is law.
Yeah, it was a really good reminder for me of things that you taught me about, writing your goal every night and writing it over and over and over again at night. And you're right, it's the discipline and it's the focus and I loved how he also talked about how, he gave the analogy of the sand going through, and how before you can't, there's no point worrying about that. And then after it's gone, it's just that sand right in the middle, isn't it? That's that present moment. And just, it was just, I loved that. And I think that for me, that's when things really started to change for me, for my self-image and my business, and was when I was, started to focus on not worrying about what had happened yesterday, not worrying about what was going to happen tomorrow, but being the best version of myself in this moment and focusing, writing your goal out, seeing yourself achieving it, like those. That's when everything started to change for me with my self-image.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that too, and, like how Bob used to say to Brian, well, Brian, you can't change the time that you woke up this morning. You can't change that. And a big shout out to our Leslie, our greatest fan. So good to have you here with us. We love having you and your beautiful energy. So it is so true, isn't it? When we stop, we can't do anything about the past. The past is the past. And also, every single person has trials and tribulations. Every person has experienced some sort of trauma in their life. Now, if you stay with that trauma, you're going to create more of the things that you don't want. It's the past. Everyone has it. You can let go of it, and you can bring yourself to the only thing that you have control of, and that is this present moment. And in this present moment, there are gifts. Look, I'm experiencing this beautiful time with you, Emma, with our followers on the podcast. Give us a big hello and let us know where you're from. Please, I'd love to hear. But also, it's only in the present moment that you can be whoever you want to be. You can have the greatest self-image that you've ever had in the present moment. Okay? So you have to be her or him now to have the thing you want later. It's only in the present moment.
Beautiful. Can you shared with me something before, which I think everyone would love to know, about you achieving one of your C-type goals?
Yeah. So a few years. So it was when was the last time I saw Bob? It was 2019. I saw Bob, Brian, and the whole clan, Gina, all of them. And shortly after that, I had a call with Brian Proctor. I just wanted to run something by him. So of course he took a good hour or more out of his time, and we jumped on a Zoom call. He was in Florida, I was in Melbourne, and we were just talking, and we're just sharing and whatever we were talking about. And one of my dreams was to have Brian Proctor in the Millionaire Roundtable Facebook group. That's what I wanted. So originally, the Millionaire Roundtable was called Bob Proctor's Millionaire Roundtable, and that was because I struggled in my business for a while, and then you can hear some of the story in the interview with Brian. And then I got into Bob Proctor's Millionaire Roundtable, and then shortly after that, thanks to Bob for being the greatest mentor, for seeing something in me that other mentors maybe saw, but they did not translate it. He saw the gift in me, he saw the potential in me, and he knew that I was going to be one of his top consultants. And so so because of Bob, straight after that, I did what I needed to do. I did my part. I became one of the top consultants in the Proctor Gallagher Institute. And 7 times straight, I was in their inner circle without missing any time. And also I was a pin holder, which is an even higher achievement, had over 100 clients in 1 year. For the PGI program that I run. And I never missed Bob Proctor's Millionaire Roundtable. I was always around that roundtable. So Bob Proctor's Millionaire Roundtable was probably a group of 10, 15 people maximum of the top, so 0.5% achievers of the company. So because that first experience in Bob Proctor's Millionaire Roundtable that I share in the interview with Brian, and please watch the interview if you want to hear about it. It was like, oh my God, a compelling moment. I really wanted to share what I had experienced. So I created a Facebook group called Bob Proctor's Millionaire Roundtable. And then when I hit my goal, I thought, okay, well, this is my Millionaire Roundtable now. So we dropped Bob and had the Millionaire Roundtable.
I love that.
And my dream was always to have Brian in this group, visiting you all, because it was started with Bob Proctor's. He was there on the first roundtable that I was at. So during that Zoom call that I had with my beautiful friend Brian in 2019, I asked him if he would like to do an interview with me in the Millionaire Roundtable. And of course, him being, who he is, he said yes. But I could sense that he was uncomfortable with that, because he didn't want the public profile back then. So I just left it. I didn't follow it up. I left it, and my respect for him is so great to this day. And then it happened. It came to me. So I've been in touch with Brian, and one thing led to another, and there he was with you all.
Yeah, beautiful, and beautiful connection that he's just written a book about his dad, your beautiful mentor, and then he came on and spoke. It was very special, and there were so many pearls in there. I think I said to you earlier, especially with this superstar self-image and just having that laser focus. I mean, that story about the clouds was beautiful, wasn't it?
Oh, it was so beautiful, so beautiful. And the love and respect for, so I'm often asked, because I became quite close to Bob in a very short time. And what my friends often say, when we have conversations, they're like, oh, but is he the real deal? What do you find? Like, is he staffed? Is that just the stage? And I'm like, no. In my experience, Bob is the real deal. And you can really see that he was the real deal in his children, I haven't met his children, but, Brian and Brian's son I've met, and oh my goodness, you can really see that he is the real deal, because how Brian has turned out, just amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
That was gorgeous, the bit where he said that one of his friends asked what dinner's like, and he's like, every dinner's a seminar.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, yes.
I love that. And how could you not? I mean, you could tell that he walked the talk, and, you know, he just,
Really did.
yeah,
Really
it
did.
was amazing. I loved also how you shared about his energy and that his vibration, and that it was like nothing that you'd ever experienced before. Just incredible. So incredible.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely incredible. I just want to divert for 1 second and say hello
Yeah.
to my beautiful friend Sharon. She said, there she is. Go, Suzana. And hey, Emma. Welcome, Sharon. It is such an honor to have you. Sharon's an incredible businesswoman. So welcome, welcome. It's so great to have you here. And I think Olivia's here too. Welcome, my beautiful Olivia, also. So, yeah.
Gorgeous.
But yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just incredible. And remember, though, you know, this podcast is about your superstar self-image, okay? So before I became close to Bob and Brian, I had to develop a superstar self-image, okay? I did not get in. I won that seat, the first Millionaire Roundtable, I won. But it wasn't by chance. It was not by chance. I clearly remember sitting there, and I was sick and tired of myself and my results. So I had an okay business, but I knew as a child, I knew that I had a gift, and my gift was to connect to spirit and help transform lives. But my business was, when I got into business, it was so slow. And I was sitting there and I was sick and tired of myself, because I knew that I was much better than what, you know, I knew I had a gift and my gift needed to be out there. So I had to make a decision that I was going to be the best at what I do, that I was not comparing to other people, but at what I do, who Suzana is and her gift. And I made a decision at that minute that something was going to change, and I was going to get into the Millionaire Roundtable with the intention that I was going to walk out a changed person. So even though I had won that competition, I did not win it. Okay, it was manifested through me, because my self-image, for once and for all, I decided that my self-image, I had a gift inside me, and my self-image was to take that gift to the world. Now I needed to change. I needed to change something deep inside me. So when I won, I remember my name was called out, and I went to the stage and I said, I knew it was me. I knew I had won already. You had to tell me, right? Because I had made that decision. My self-image was stronger than anyone out there, and my determination and my decision was stronger than anyone. But when I walked into, but there's another step to that. It was intention. So my intention was not just to go there and say, I was in Bob Proctor's Millionaire Roundtable. You know, I sat with Bob. No. It wasn't just to win something. It was that I get in there, I friggin' change. I'm not allowed to swear in this podcast. You know, so excuse me for my new viewers. When I get passionate about this stuff. I'm so passionate. Sometimes some F-bombs, you know, come through me. So excuse me if I do.
That's why we love you so much, because you're real.
Because so I went in there friggin' with such a strong intention.
Yeah, gorgeous.
That when I walked out, I was going to change. That self-image was going to be stronger than ever. And guess what? I walked in there and every single seat was taken. So there's 10 of us, only 10 people out of thousands of consultants, right? There's about 10 of us. The only seat that was available was the one to the left of Bob and the one to the right of Bob. Now, Bob knew me back then, right? He knew me, but he didn't know me deeply personally. I've never sent him an email, and you know, it wasn't on that level. Okay, so the only choice I had was to sit right next to Bob Proctor himself. Now remember, though, this was a dream of mine for over 10 years. How the hell? It was a dream of mine since I was a child, but when I was a child, I didn't know who Bob Proctor was. I knew it was going to come about, but I just didn't know how and through. I just knew that was my purpose, what I'm doing today. And I know that nobody does it as well as I do, right? And if all of you that anybody that hears that and it's rubbing you up the wrong way, ask yourself why, because it's got nothing to do with me. It has something to do with you. Okay. I'm sharing with you from a place of absolute strong self-image. My self-image knows you get a person in front of me and they'll freaking change. They'll break through. I know that 100%. I know that I am different and you know, and the best at what I do, not what Emma does. Emma's the best, and that's why I've teamed up with Emma, guys, because she's the best at what she does. So from that space,
I feel like I get a hell yeah. I mean, seriously.
Hell yeah! Come on, people watching, give us a hell yeah. Tell us where you're from.
For sure.
So from that space, I set a very strong intention.
Gorgeous.
How does a girl that, you know, with all these hot shots, get the seat right next to Bob? And far out, did things change for me after that?
So
far out. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I love that story.
If you all heard the whole story, you would fall off your chair. Sharon says, hell yeah, Emma. You've got to meet Sharon. She's amazing. I think it's Olivia. We've got Facebook users saying, hell yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So that's my story. That's a little snippet of my story. Okay. What are you taking out of this for yourself? Because Emma and I are doing this for you, right? We're not here just to, although I love Emma's company, we can talk all day.
We could chat. We could chat nonstop, really, couldn't we?
Nonstop. And that's also what I love about this work, right? You have to be around the people that are on your level. Only hang around the dreamers, right? Step up, Sharon said. Step up with your friends and your community too. Yeah. So how strong is your self-image? Is it strong enough to say no to the people that are not good for you? Is it strong enough to say, I want friends like Bob Proctor and Brian Proctor and Emma Ferris as my friends, and Olivia and Sharon and Leslie?
And Suzana, for sure.
Okay, so I've given you so much. What is the best version of yourself? First of all, what is it that you want? I knew 100% for sure. I knew as a child what I wanted. I knew as an adult, after studying psychology and degrees that I wanted to work with Bob Proctor. Not only did I want to work with Bob Proctor, I wanted to share the stage with him. And I did. I've shared the stage with him. Not only that, I wanted to be friends with Bob Proctor. Before he even knew that I existed. That was my decision. In that room, I made a decision that enough is enough. I've got to friggin' step up. Excuse me. Right? This is it. Okay. Right? I've got to step up and move into the self-image of a woman that actually knows Bob and that is at his level.
Yes.
And third, and also I made the decision that it was going to be me. No one else in that room, not the thousands of consultants, right? But me. How often do you choose someone else over yourself? How often do you say, oh, that's okay, they're better, they're, you know. No, what do you want? What do you want? Yeah. You want it for a reason. The desire is in your heart, in your soul, for a reason. Because there's nobody else in the world that can do it the way that you do it. That's what it's there for. But you have to have a self-image that says, this is mine. I am the best in the world at what I do. And you have to make the decision that it's going to be you that's going to be the chosen one. Not the thousands of other consultants or whatever it is in your field. And then you have to set an intention of what you want to experience. But if you set a small intention, just do like you set a small goal, you'll get a small result.
Yeah.
My intention was that I was going to sit with Bob Proctor in the Millionaire Roundtable. Less than 0.1% of his consultants have that privilege. And my intention was that I was going to friggin' walk out there. I was going to be very uncomfortable. I knew I wasn't afraid of being uncomfortable. I was going to be uncomfortable after that session to the point where I finally friggin' change. Are you afraid of being uncomfortable? Are you afraid of setting a big intention? And if you are, why? Because you probably don't believe in yourself. So it comes back to self-image. What does it mean to be the greatest version of yourself? How would your life change? Emma, you mentioned focus earlier because Brian was talking about focus, and that was one of the things, my takeaways from that interview brought me back to, well, am I scattered or am I focused?
Yeah, laser focus. I'm going to start writing a goal every night again, get back onto that. Love it.
Yeah. And how would your life change if you focused on your greatest version of yourself every single day?
Yeah. Love it. I love it. So good.
So there was so much in that passionate moment that I had. What are you all going to do with it? What are you all going to do? And I know, Em, you wanted to share about how you changed your self-image and.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that the key points for me was the writing the goal, and one of my favorite meditations that you taught me, where you think from your foot.
Yes.
Love. Isn't it wonderful? Thank you, thank you, thank you. And just walking and talking and living and being her and being that and having that focus. And when I did those, gee, everything just changed, like instantaneously.
Yeah.
Within days. I remember calling you and
I remember
my business and everything just self-image, so powerful.
So powerful. So powerful. Yeah.
Love it, Suzana.
Yeah. So there's been so much in this session, so much. And I know that there's, like I said earlier, we've got lots of people that sent messages to us from the US about Independence Day. So you'll be watching the recording rather than being on this podcast live. We've promised you just 30 minutes and that we won't, we're going to have short podcast, Superstar Self-Image podcast every Monday. So from this session, I think there's a lot of you might want to rewatch it, but really decide what it is that you want and focus on that. Okay. Make a decision that it is done. Choose yourself as the winner. No one else. Be the best at what you do and set a strong intention. Big intention. If you're worried about getting uncomfortable, then that's what life will give you back. Okay. But if you don't worry about the discomfort because your desire to serve in your own way is stronger than your discomfort, then that's where the magic happens. And every single one of you is pure magic. You've heard a little bit about my story. If I could do this, what can you do? What can you do? And please, please, please share the podcast with your friends. We want to help so many people. And, please bring them along. And if you want to hear about our programs, please send us a message. And next week we have the incredible Emma talking about style and fitness. Can't wait.
Gorgeous. Very exciting. Thank you
so much, everybody. So much love to you all. Reach out if you need to, and please bring your family, your friends, your children, your colleagues along. Thank you so much. Okay. Think
Bye,
big.
darling.
Bye-bye.
Bye.